Have you ever noticed what happens when you stop chasing someone? When you stop texting first? When you stop asking for their attention? Suddenly, the dynamic shifts. The person who ignored you starts wondering about you. The person who took you for granted starts chasing you. Why does this happen? It is because of a fundamental law of human nature. We want what we cannot have. Ignoring people is not about being cruel. It is about reclaiming your value. It is about signaling to the world that your attention is expensive and not everyone can afford it. Welcome to Eternal Echoes. Today we are going to master the art of strategic silence. We will learn why ignoring the noise makes you the most powerful person in the room. Let's talk about economics. Diamond is valuable because it is rare. Air is free because it is everywhere. Most people act like air. They're always available. They reply instantly. They say yes to everything. And as a result, people treat them like air, necessary, but invisible. When you start ignoring people, not out of anger, but out of purpose, you become the diamond. You become scarce. Seneca said, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." When you withdraw your attention, you create a vacuum, and human nature hates a vacuum. People will rush to fill that space with their own attention, validation, and respect. You are not playing games. You are simply raising your price. What is the best way to destroy an enemy? Is it to fight them? No, it is to ignore them. When someone insults you or tries to provoke you, they are looking for a reaction. They want to drag you down to their level. They want your energy. If you get angry, you give them what they want. You validate their existence. But if you ignore them, if you look through them as if they are made of glass, you destroy them. Your silence says, "You are irrelevant to my life." This is the ultimate power move. It shows that your inner peace is stronger than their chaos. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Another crucial aspect of ignoring people is mastering the power of no. Think of your attention as a fortress. If the gates are always open, anyone can walk in and steal your treasures. But if you stand as a gatekeeper, you decide who enters. When you say no to invitations, to favors, or to people who waste your time, you are ignoring their demands to prioritize your own. This is not selfish. This is essential. People respect boundaries. When you are easy to access, you are easy to forget. But when you are hard to reach, people value the moments they get with you. Ignoring the unnecessary allows you to focus on the essential. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you hang out with complainers, you will become a complainer. If you hang out with losers, you will lose. You must learn the art of social pruning. You have to ignore the toxic friend who drains your energy. Ignore the family member who doubts your dreams. Ignore the coworker who loves gossip. This is not being rude. This is self-preservation. Imagine your mind is the garden. Ignoring these people is like pulling out the weeds. If you don't pull them out, they will choke your flowers. Be ruthless with your attention. Give it only to those who help you grow. Let's go deeper into emotional detachment. When you ignore someone, you are practicing the role of the observer. Most people are reactive. They are slaves to their emotions. Someone smiles. They are happy. Someone frowns. They are sad. But the Stoic ignores these external triggers. He watches them from a distance. When you detach yourself emotionally from the opinions of others, you become unshakable. You realize that people's actions are a reflection of them, not you. Ignoring their drama protects your peace. It allows you to stay in your inner citadel while the storm rages outside. Why do we care so much about what others think? Because we are addicted to validation. We post a photo, and wait for likes. We do a good job and wait for a pat on the back. This makes you a slave. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "If you wish to be free, do not desire anything that depends on others, lest you become a slave." When you learn to ignore the need for applause, you become dangerous. You work hard in the dark, not for the praise, but for the purpose. You become immune to criticism because you are immune to compliments. The person who does not need your approval cannot be controlled by you. That is true freedom. We live in an attention economy. Everyone wants a piece of your brain. Netflix wants your evening. TikTok wants your dopamine. The news wants your fear. If you pay attention to everything, you accomplish nothing. Powerful people are masters of selective ignorance. They ignore the trends. They ignore the celebrity gossip. They ignore the notifications. They put on their blinders and focus entirely on their mission. While the world is distracted by the circus, the Stoic is building an empire. Ask yourself, does this information make me stronger or just more distracted? If it doesn't serve you, ignore it. When you practice these rules, something magical happens. You develop a magnetic presence. Because you are not desperate for attention, you attract it. Because you are not needy, people need you. You walk into a room, and you don't have to shout to be heard. Your silence speaks volumes. People respect you because you respect yourself enough to walk away from anything that does not serve you. You have flipped the script. You are no longer chasing the world. The world is chasing you. Ignoring people is not about arrogance. It is about focus. It is about realizing that your time is a limited resource, and you cannot afford to spend it on things that do not matter. Be the diamond, not the heir. Be the king, not the jester. If you are ready to reclaim your value, make a promise to yourself today. Write in the comments, "I value my attention." This is Eternal Echoes. We build the strong. Subscribe and let your silence roar.